Hello everybody, thanks for joining me, Rouvaun Smit here on A Sure Thing. It's a beautiful Monday morning in Cape Town, and I guess next time we have such stunning weather, I will get the camera lady to move our things outside so that we can do this recording alongside the swimming pool, get our big toes wet and feel what it's going to be like to enjoy some time in the swimming pool as summer now finally sets in here in the Mother City. Good to have you along for our preview of the Hollywoodbets Greyville race meeting on Tuesday on the Poly track, where we have an 8-race program for the day, and the first gets underway at 12:30. Don't forget your Hollywoodbet punted challenge selections. They need to be on 5 minutes before the advertised starting time of the first. Make sure you take the bet slip. If you pick all 8 winners, you of course put yourself in line for a nice big cash incentive prize. So let's get straight into the action. The first race being a maiden plate to be run over 1,400 meters. This one for the fillies, and there are 9 of them who will contest race 1. And I guess in race 1, you probably could make a case for more than one of them. I wrote alongside number 1, Sweet Reunion, returns from a bit of a rest, but was reported to be not striding out last time out. I guess on previous form from pole position, this one must have a chance in a lineup of this nature. 2 D-Day has solid recent form and a kind of horse that can pop up in a race of this nature. 5 Longstreet, that was a decent fourth last time out, despite the jockey reporting that the horse was had something amiss with it in the closing stages of the last race. So 5 Longstreet could also be a horse that one needs to take into account. 7 Zelda Star is having her first run for the Puller Yard, and certainly on current form must have genuine claims of also getting into the action. But I'm going with number 8, Mistress Rebecca, who ran on well to finish in the money in her second start. I liked the improvement shown from first run to second run, which means that further improvement can be expected, and this is the kind of horse that I will go for because further natural improvement can be expected. So 8 Mistress Rebecca is my first choice ahead of 2 D-Day, 7 Zelda Star and 5 Longstreet. Moving on to race 2 on the card, and that's a conditions maiden for fillies and mares to be run over 1,200 meters, and here 8 runners will contest the second race on the card, and I'm going with number 1, Xena Rose. Now that was a much improved last run when going to the front and staying on to finish in third. The horses that finish either side in second and fourth have subsequently come out and given that form line a boost by winning next time out, so Xena Rose certainly does come into the reckoning as one of the horses that they all have to beat, especially coming back to 1,200. I'm going with that one as my first choice selection. Ahead of number 4, Head Girl, ideally course and distance suited. He's having a peak run from the informed Andre Nelyard. I think the solid form certainly bodes well for Head Girl's chances. For third, I'm going with number 6, Fantasy League. This one could also show improvement now that it's going on to the Poly. And then for fourth, I'm going with number 8, Sanka Wakan, who has got the claiming 4-kilo apprentice on board, carries just 52 kilos on its back, and this is certainly a must inclusion, I think, for back ends of trifectas and quartets. So 1, 4, 6 and 8 are the numbers I'm going with in race number 2. Third race on the program is a merit-rated 84 handicap, where 7 runners will contest this fillies and mares handicap over 1,000 meters. And here I'm going with number 1, Million Voices, from pole position as my first choice selection. This horse had excuses last time out. It returned and coughed, and I think if one ignore that last run on the solid, consistent form prior to that, must be the horse to beat, especially if one takes all that form lines into account. For second, I'm going with number 5, War Empress. Now, War Empress is a 3-time winner over the course and distance, and I do think if that last run hasn't come too soon, then this horse also comes into the reckoning. Number 3, Awawi Yawi, is my third choice selection. This one is up in class, but I do think with a nice low weight of 55 kilograms can surprise. And then for fourth, I'm going with number 2, Red Roses 2. Won its only start over the course and distance, and I'm definitely throwing that one into the equation as well. So 1, 5, 3 and 2 are the numbers I'm going with in race number 3. Race 4 on today's card is a maiden plate where 9 runners will contest the 1,600 meter event, and it's one of those races also where you probably need to look at 1 or 2 to safely see you through those exotic bets that you are going to be playing on the day. For example, number 2, Roller the Viking, has got solid form, will be up handy, and will enjoy the drop-in trip. Number 3, Fensador. If one looks at that last form line, the second and third place horses have come out and franked that form line. I like the look of number 6, Uzwano, who was slow away, was running on strongly in the closing stages. Now the fourth place horse from that form line has subsequently come out and franked that form. So that to me is the kind of horse that I will go for. Natural improvement shown from first to second start. Further improvement expected. Stepping up in trip. Definitely the horse they all have to beat. So 6, Uzwano is my first choice selection from 2, Roller the Viking, 3, Fensador, and for third, I'm going with number 7, Chili Bomb, as my fourth choice selection, who loves to race up handy and will be staying on in the closing stages. Race 5, merit rated 74 handicap, where 8 runners will contest the 1600 meter event. And here I'm going with number 1, Fish Eagle, from pole position, as my first choice selection. This horse has had 2 very good runs since joining the Gary Rich yard, and I do think that this horse has got what it takes to go one better this time round, and that's why I'm siding with Fish Eagle as my first choice selection to win it, from number 3, Fair Advantage, who's unbeaten, 2 from 2 on the poly, definitely must have a shout. Third, I'm going with number 2, National Award, who is 4 kilos better off at the weights with number 3, Fair Advantage, so that brings that one also into the reckoning. And for fourth, I'm going with number 6, Buggerlugs, who likes to race up handily. He is going to enjoy a slight drop in class here. Third run after race, so should be cherry ripe to run a cracker. 1, 3, 2 and 6 are the numbers I'm going for in race number 5. Moving swiftly along to race number 6 on the program. And race 6 is a merit-rated 74 handicap, a race for fillies and mares. 8 runners to contest this 1900 meter event. And here number 1, Linger No More, is having her second run after rest, and I think would have come on with the benefit of that last run. Should strip much fitter, but I'm going to go with number 2, Off Limits. Ideally course and distance suited. Jumps from barrier position 2. Runs for the Louis Huerson yard. I think this horse definitely has got what it takes to unsaddle in the number 1 box. Will be going up handy, and I do think that's the kind of horse that can win a race of this nature. For second, I'm going with number 7, Summer Song. I think better than that last run. You can put a line through it where the jock reported that something went amiss. I think that's the horse who's having his peak run now. Should be in the shake-up. For third, I'm going with number 6, Lady Is a Champ, who's 2.5 kilos better off at the weights on her penultimate with number 2, Off Limits. So that brings her closer to the equation. And then for fourth, I'm going with number 8, Elusive Bell, who's back against the girls, carries a nice low weight, and also can feature in a race of this nature. So 2, 7, 6 and 8 are the numbers I'm going with in race number 6. Race 7 on the card is a merit-rated 75 handicap. 8 runners to contest this 1900 meter event. And here I'm going with number 2, Fine Admiral, as the horse to beat. Won its last 2 starts. I think that last one, for example, to me was a very good win over the course and distance. Yes, it did pick up a £3 penalty for that win, but going for the hat-trick this time round, I think definitely can pull it off despite being 3 points up in the ratings. Another horse that picked up a rating adjustment was number 3, All Around the World, who picked up a 5-point penalty for that last win when winning well over 2,000 meters. Will enjoy the drawback in trip to 1,900 meters, and that last form line has been franked, so that's one I'm going to put in for second. For third, I'm going with number 5, Duke of Africa, who won well over 2,000 meters in his last start. Up in class, but definitely cannot be ignored in a race of this nature. And then the horse that placed in both its attempts thus far over the course and distance, number 6, Bonsai Pipeline, is the other one that I'm going to include in my selection. So 2, 3, 5 and 6 the numbers for race number 7. Eighth and final event runs at 16:37, the lucky last, and hopefully number 1 will get us out of it. I'm going with Mac Hardy, who was unlucky in the last start when having to switch at a crucial stage of the race to get a clear run. This horse has really dropped in the ratings to run off a more competitive mark, and I do think he's going to make its presence felt in a big way. I'm going with 1 Mac Hardy ahead of number 2 Portofino as the second choice selection. Definitely has solid forms. The blinkers has been refitted, so that one can improve. For third, I'm going with number 8 Brosbell, who despite the £3 penalty should definitely be taken into account. Won well over the course and distance last time out, and definitely should be considered. And for fourth, I'm going with number 4 Fake Mali, who's a half a kilo better off at the weights for a 0.5 length beating by Mac Hardy, and that one also brings her into the equation. So 1, 2, 8 and 4 are the numbers I'm going with in the lucky last of the afternoon. 8 races on a Tuesday to look forward to at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the Poly. Trust it's going to be a good afternoon's racing. Hit them, find those winners, go and cash those tickets so that we can have a nice kitty for the rest of the week. Till next time, from me, Rouvaun, cheers for now.